Okay, here we are with another series of viral emotions. So, viral emotions has a double meaning. There's a lot of emotions going on these days with COVID and everything that we're going through. And also, emotions run virally through our population, through our communities, through our families. So we do share emotions just like we share viruses. And so this series is about learning how to protect ourselves, how to heal when we get these emotions, and how to deal with them. And so for a few weeks, I want to do a series within the series on betrayal. So here we go. Betrayal. So betrayal is not an emotion. You know, when I do workshops and get people to start naming their emotions, because that's a very important first step in learning to deal with your emotions, is that you can name them. And that's because every emotion has a very different purpose. And so knowing how to deal with the emotion to achieve its purpose is very important. So often people say, oh, I feel betrayed. So let's look at that first. So betrayal isn't an emotion. It's actually something that happens. It's a situation. And really, to put a fine point on it, betrayal is really a concept. It's a belief. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about betrayal. Then we're going to look at the different emotions that betrayal causes very naturally, and finally how to deal with them. All right, so that's our plan, and these classes are about 30-45 minutes, so you can come in, get a little emotional intelligence, education, and then we do a practice to help process. So betrayal is based on a concept, you know. So when you think you know how someone's going to behave, when you can call it trust, right? Like you have, so whether it's an intimate partner, right, that you think is going to be monogamous perhaps, or a friend that you think is always going to be nice or treat you well or be considerate. How about a political leader that you voted for and thought they were going to be a certain way? A teacher, mentor, pastor, priest, or spiritual teacher that that preached something and practiced something different. So betrayal's about an expectation. Now there's nothing wrong with having expectations, but it's when you have, frankly, an illusion about how you expect a person to behave, and then you are disillusioned. Your illusion, your expectation is not met. All right? So I'm first starting with this because a betrayal, when we feel the emotional impact of a betrayal, we definitely feel it's personal. We are really looking at the outside, and I want us to look at the inside, and not to take any responsibility away from the betrayer, but that's already happened. You can't control them. So what can we control? Yoga says we can control our inner world. So I want to talk about the betrayed, you. So that means I want to take responsibility for my feelings, that I, as an adult, expected something, I trusted something, and it didn't work out that way. All right, so when we're disillusioned, when we're betrayed, there are many emotions that come up. And so over the next few weeks, I want to talk about and help you understand and process the different emotions that come up when you are betrayed, when humans are betrayed. So Shock. Now, shock is related to fear. It's perhaps a form of fear. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the initial shock. Now, some of you may be beyond that in your processing of betrayal, but week by week, I want to go through the other emotions that occur. So shock is the initial, and this follows the 7 stages of grief pretty much, because a betrayal is a loss, right? Betrayal is loss of trust, loss of a worldview, loss of many illusions and expectations, and there are direct harms that come from betrayal too. So loss of, betrayal can be an abuse, of course, too. So shock. But what else happens when, what other emotions come up? And we'll go through these in the next few weeks. Anger. Anger comes up when you're betrayed because you've been hurt and you want to protect yourself. Sadness comes up in a betrayal because you've suffered loss and need to heal your heart. Shame and guilt can come up because you might blame yourself. You might think, this is my fault, how stupid I was, okay? Shame and guilt. Depression might come up, apathy and despondency because you don't really know how to pick up the pieces or how to go forward from their powerlessness and helplessness. And ultimately, there's a desire under every betrayal that's been unfulfilled. So over the next several weeks, we'll go through these emotions one by one, and if this will help you, I certainly hope you'll join me. But today we're just going to talk about the shock. So remember, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, that we're taking a view. The betrayal's already happened. Now we're not, next week when we talk about anger, we can talk about anger at the betrayer. But today we're just talking about your experience as the betrayed. So shock is our topic today. So what is shock? Shock is when something sudden strikes me suddenly, like just an electric shock, right? It's unexpected. It's heavily impactful, and it disorients me, right? So for this, then I'm going to also talk about a running theme through betrayal, which is giving our power away. Ultimately, we want to learn from betrayal. We want to learn how to not be betrayed again. I mean, if that can be prevented, and it can be inoculated against. So, giving our power away. Now, that's a thing that has to be done in society. If I want to love someone, I do give them some power, right? If I love you, you can hurt me more than the person that I don't love. So there's an exchange of power, But I guess the paradigm I want to suggest is that when I give you power because I want to learn from you, or I want to live with you, or I want to love you, I've just got to be careful how much I give. So, for instance, giving away too much power would be, for instance, if I love you, we're living together, and we've got a good relationship, or there's a friendship here. Pick up your own example here. And something happens that doesn't feel right. I see you as a very kind person, and then you do something very unkind to me. And it feels weird. I kind of like, whoa, that's a little mini shock. Like, oh, that's the first time that happened. I didn't expect that. That was a little off. And if I've given you the power that you can do no wrong, or I've given the power to you in my illusion of who you are and how perfect you are, and this happens a lot with teachers, priests, spiritual teachers, right? But it happens with our close, intimate relationships too, that if I've given you the power to do no wrong, or to always treat me well or to never make mistakes. That's too much. And then if I've given you that power, then when I feel something's off, when I feel like that's unexpected. What did I hear? What was the rumor? But I don't have enough power to honor that feeling and say, hey, I better check this out. I better speak up. I better understand what's going on here because it could get worse. I don't want to just, if I've given power away, I don't even check it out. And that has happened to me, has happened to many of us. So we're talking about betrayal and now self-responsibility in it. How can I learn? And then an element, one of the many elements of maybe I've given away too much power, the power of my own listening to myself, my own intuition, what feels right for me. This is very key to betrayal. All right. So I hope that helps a little bit. Now, today we're talking about the shock. So shock is something, again, unexpected. It impacts the nervous system. So I want to combine the idea of shock and how do I recover? Because if you look at the 7 stages of grief or 5 or whichever system you look at, when you're in shock, you can't really do much. You know, you've got to move on. So we want to deal with shock so we can move into the next stages, dealing with our anger, our grief, and etc. Okay? So I want to deal with a practice that will help us heal the nervous system, right? And bring back our power into ourselves. And I think pretty quickly, although it might take many days or longer to completely do that, I hope we could feel some relief pretty quickly. So let's just pick something, healing the nervous system. I'm going to pick something that's calming and reassuring with a deep, slow breath, okay? So we're going to do the mudra where you hold one fist and then the other one around it. So this represents strength and power, like I have power. And this represents sort of its yin polarity, which is nurturing, safety, holding, okay? So take your power, your fist, right hand, and your left hand, enclose it gently, right? So neither one of them are tight, but just, and hold that here at the heart center, right? So protection and compassion here at the heart center. Close your eyes and start breathing slowly through the nose. And anything with rhythm is also very calming and reassuring. So I'm going to give you a 1-second beat, and I'd like for you to time your inhale in 4 beats. So you're breathing evenly, but it will go like this. So 1, here's my inhale, 3. Now I'm full and exhale, 2, 3, 4. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Good. Keep breathing like this. And you might want to use a mantra instead of counting. It'll help the brain go non-linear a little bit. So sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Good. Now, just keep that gentle rhythm going as you breathe. You've got your gentle fist, your gentle hand. And breath is the breath of life. So your body knows that you need it. And when it's deep, even and slow, it goes right into the nervous system, calming you. So breathe. We'll do a little guided meditation with it once a minute or 2 goes by. Breathing. Good. Breathing. All right. So help the breathing mentally by gathering in stability, strength, the beating of your heart, the power you have to control your breath. So betrayal is a sense of loss of control. Right? So you want to bring that control back into yourself, into your awareness. And very good. Okay. So feel the nerves, the spinal cord, the brain, your nervous system. Soothe it, calm it, all right? We've got to do after an electric shock, we've got to do some damage repair. Good. Okay. Very simple thing. The ability to self-soothe. To self-soothe. All right. Now feel that where you're sitting is a very stable base, that your body is stable, that in this quiet moment that you are secure. And we're going to use that as a strong foundation to now venture in to the source of your shock. So see if you can stay neutral and clear and review what is it that has shocked me. And your first thing will go to the event. So it could be, so any particular betrayal, can you go to the moment when you learned it? When you really, before there may have been some inklings, but you kind of discounted them. But then there was that moment when it was like, boom, oh, your reality is shattered. Your illusions are disillusioned. Your expectations are unmet. Okay, so keep breathing slowly because I'm asking you to revive that shock. But you're going to meet it now with a calm clarity and a breath and a feeling in your hands and body. So it's like, okay, I can handle this shock. And just one short session, you may need more, but it's like healing goes in waves. So can you go to the moment of shock when you heard the news, when you read the report, when you realized what was happening, when you got the text, when someone spoke to you in a certain way? Okay, so go there now, but this time you're handling it, you're okay, you're handling it. So you got to regain your balance, right? If you want to start breathing deeper, let your body respond. This is trauma recovery. This is trauma repair at the nervous system and at the mental, emotional level. You've got to be able to go back in and realize, because when you were first shocked, you didn't think you could handle it. Keep breathing. But you did because you're still here, and you are because you're doing it now. So see if you can keep with that image, that feeling. You got to let the emotions go. What does shock feel like in your body? And you'll start getting an inventory of other feelings, but stay with the surprise, I can't believe it, disbelief, right? Shock and disbelief is stage 1 of grief. All right? Just replay the video. In about a couple of minutes, this will be just a memory again. So just go through it, let it rise, let the feelings rise. Now you may not be on my time frame for this class. You might need more of this, but you can replay this video and just you can remember what we're doing and do it for yourself. Do it longer, do it daily, do it several times a day if you're in shock. And talk yourself down, okay? This is horrible, but I'm going to be okay. I am okay. Feel it in your body with the hands and at the heart. I'm okay. I will recover. Earthquakes come and then you pick up the pieces. So, now if it's okay, I want to invite you into some self-reflections because we want to learn. Trauma can serve a purpose to learn, grow, become stronger, heal, and avoid similar pains in the future. So keep breathing, soothing yourself. At some point, the memory of the betrayal will be matched with your recovery, and you'll feel a sort of a stasis, an equilibrium. You may or may not be there, but I'm going to invite you into that equilibrium. Okay, I got this. I'm not over it yet, but I'm okay. Now what? How do I, ask yourself, did I give away too much power? Was I naive? And don't judge and feel bad about it. Just be a scientist, be a detective and see the evidence. Like, what was my role in this? Meaning, not victim blaming. How can I prevent this in the future? So this is a self-assessment. I have no opinion. This is asking you to look. Did I have a false expectation? Humans are humans. Did I think someone was something other than what they were? Did I think they were perfect? Did I think they were infallible? Did my love or my devotion or my some other belief cloud my judgment? Well, I'm awake now, so shock awakens, does it not? Shock awakens. So I'm awake now. My dear friend of 20 years did this thing. Yes, there's a shadow side, there's a dark side. My spiritual teacher did horrible things. My monogamous partner cheated on me. What was it? Yes, they were human, okay? So humans are imperfect. Humans make mistakes. Humans do things. Did I make a mistake? Not blaming yourself, no guilt or shame, just try to see. Okay, 2 more minutes. I want you to breathe and just see. What was my part in this? Meaning, how could I not be fooled again? What would it take? Ask your heart now. Go into your heart. We're going to get into healing the heart in the next few weeks, but heal it by being in relationship to your heart. Compassionately ask, what could I do to not get fooled again? Well, you can shut down and never love again, never trust again, never do Kundalini yoga again. Okay, that's a strategy. But to never love again, what else? Ask your heart. How can I be open, give myself partially to someone or something, even to a belief system, but not give myself away? That I'm still the most important. I hold the power. If I've been with you for 10 years, I can decide if I'm with you now. I can decide now that I've been shot, what works for me. So in betrayal, if you're trying to get back to the way things were, it could happen all over again. No, your world was shattered, but it's for you to put back together again in a way that you're wiser, safer, smarter, more powerful. If you gave away some power, how can you be more powerful? I'm going to give you another minute of breathing to just have a final conversation with yourself and see what you can do to bring yourself out of shock and back into stability. You don't have to count your breath, but make it deep and even. So now please bring this process, this experience you're having with yourself to a close at this time, knowing you can go back and go further and do more anytime. But call this complete. Validate your experience that this was what was meant to happen right now. And now take a deep breath in all at once and hold, and just firm up your hand and press them against the chest. Your whole forearms, just tighten your upper body like it's a big self-hug. You know, like when, yes, hold. When we're really happy and we have something of great value, we hold it to our hearts like this. Hold yourself to your heart. Exhale. Inhale again. Good. Now hold yourself. Hold your trust, your power, your love. Hold it to your heart. And gently let it go. And let your hands down. And slowly come back when you're ready. Flutter your eyes open. And here we are again. Okay. I love bringing you these live streams. I don't love that I can't, like in a class, talk to you and hear what happened. If you want to chat, type in a few things. And I appreciate when you share gratitude and love. And I'd much rather hear a little about your experience so you can share it with others if you're willing. So what did we do? We're doing a series within Viral Emotions about betrayal and what the emotions that it causes, that arise in us, and how to process each one by one. Today was shock, and we're talking about an approach of personal responsibility. Next week, we'll go into anger. And anger, yes, we'll look at the betrayer. But today, just reclaiming our power. And what we want to learn from any betrayal, any trauma, is what did I not know? What did I not do that I could learn from this and do so that it doesn't happen again within the control that I can exert, so it doesn't happen again. All right? Well, this series is meant to be just basically half hour, 31-minute practice that you can come in, learn a little bit, practice maybe we did about a 15-minute actual breathing practice that you can do some healing, do some growth, actually help yourself in a short amount of time. I encourage you, this will be posted many places. You can, my Facebook and my YouTube, that you can go back. If you don't need more guidance, you can do it yourself. But if you want to sort of get the hang of what we were doing, there was a lot of information and processing in there that you can go back and do it again and again as it might serve you. So my name's Guru Mayer, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles with this series on viral emotions, and I hope it's helpful to you. We're dealing with a lot of different kinds of viruses, right? Going through your body and through the population, the community, and it's a shared human experience. These are, we can share, teach, and process these things because they're common human experiences. You know, there's not that many, there are no, let's see if I can stand behind this statement. There are no human emotions that are not already known to many others. In other words, this is shit. Betrayal is not a new thing. It's been around since, Caesar and Cain and Abel, and, so there's a lot known about what's happening to us. And we can take that knowledge and in my world, use yogic techniques and knowledge, which we can also just call mindfulness techniques, human psychology techniques, and process and heal. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, and I'm kind of just wrapping up, so we hit 31 minutes because that's sort of a nice number for us to get together and share. So I hope to see you next week. We'll continue this series, go into betrayal and the anger that it causes. Then we'll go the next week into grief and etc., etc. I mentioned at the beginning of the class. So thank you, everyone. Love to see you and hope to see you around.